are in 2025 already, but before we're gonna talk about a new bunch of movies, let's take a look back at what 2024 had to offer. Hello everyone, I'm Jay Mayer and welcome to my overview of the film year 2024, or also known as my personal top 10 favorite movies of 2024. And yes, I have been out for a little while, a bit over a month now I believe. That was not the plan. I really wanted to do some more movie reviews on movies I have seen in 2024. I was really planning on doing a review on Sonic 3 and Nosferatu, but because 2025 really started really busy for me, and the last week I was really sick, I had no energy to do this movie reviews before. So fortunately I'm not gonna do a review on those two movies anymore. Just quick thoughts. I really loved Sonic 3. I think that was just a super fun movie. Nosferatu I really liked for its style, but it was not really that kind of movie for me. Like, I really appreciate Robert Eggers, his movies, but for some reason it doesn't really match with me personally. So it's a great movie, but not for me. Also, I have seen some movies of 2025. Those I'm gonna review in the coming days, maybe next week, so definitely there are movie reviews coming to my channel pretty soon. But we are here to talk about the film year 2024. And 2024 was a film year that I really loved. I think it was better than 2023. It's not really big on the movies coming out that year, but this year there were a lot of movies that I really enjoyed, that I really loved, that I really liked watching, and that I see myself rewatching from time to time. So I'm actually pleased with what 2024 had to offer in movies. And I'm gonna talk about my personal 10 favorite movies from past year, and I'm gonna give 5 honorable mentions. But before I do that, I want to talk about two movies I have seen this year that are actually from 2023 but came out this year in my country. And that are Anyone But You and The Iron Claw. Two movies that I really enjoyed. The Iron Claw would definitely have been in my top 10 of 2023. I think 4th or 5th place. And Anyone But You, really fun comedy, would definitely have been an honorable mention in that top 10. But I'm not gonna include them in this top 10. This is just about 2024 movies. Also, I have not seen all the movies that came out last year. I've seen, I believe, most of them. Definitely the ones that matter, that I would think are options for this top 10. Basically, the movies that made it to my top 10 are, like usual, the movies that had an impact on me. That can be in all kind of ways, that stick with me, that did something with me, or they're just movies that I see myself rewatching a couple of times and putting on from time to time and have a blast of a time again watching it. So let's talk about 5 honorable mentions. And these are not in a particular order. These are not number 15 to 11. These are just in no specific order. And let's talk about what I believe is gonna be the Oscar winner. It has my vote, it has my bet, and that is Anora. Anora is a movie that I have seen on the Film Fest of Ghent, and I was really impressed by it. Another movie I've seen on the Film Fest of Ghent that I really are hoping for to win Best Picture at the Oscars, and that's The Substance. And The Substance is a horror masterpiece. And it's not really that common that horror movies are nominated for Best Picture, so when a horror movie is nominated, I'm always rooting for it. And The Substance, it's a really unique horror movie. Demi Moore and Margaret Qualley are doing fantastic acting jobs in this movie. I really hope Demi Moore wins Best Actress as well. She really deserves it. I'm still struggling with the ending. If the ending was a bit different, more to my likings, it would have been in my top 10 for sure. Another horror movie in my honorable mentions is Sting. Now, this is a bit of a rare choice, but I was really surprised when I watched this movie. This is one of the movies I did not do a review on, but Sting is that spider movie, and I really had a blast of a time watching it. Maybe it's not the greatest movie of 2024, maybe not even the best, one of the best horror movies of this year, but because it's so fun, I had to mention it. My fourth honorable mention is Horizon. And Horizon is a western epic of Kevin Costner that not a lot of people are watching, and it really has problems in developing the sequels. And I really hope that we are gonna get the sequels, because just part 1 feels like an incomplete story. I really loved it. I loved most of these scenes. It's really epic. I love Kevin Costner's direction style. So I really hope we can see this story in its full. And my last honorable mention, Sonic 3. I really love Sonic 3. It's the best one in the franchise so far. I really love that it focuses on Sonic and his team instead of the humans. Jim Carrey is phenomenal funny in this movie, and I love the villain of Shadow and his backstory. That was great. And these elements make this movie amazing. I really had a good time watching Sonic 3. So now we are at the top 10 favorite movies of 2024. At least in my opinion, that is my personal list. Always be free to share your personal top 10 of 2024 below in the comments. Would love to read that. Always very curious to see that. So let's talk about my picks. And at number 10, I have another horror movie, and that is Smile 2. And I'm actually surprised that I have Smile 2 in my top 10. Because 2 years ago, I saw the first Smile. I think it was good. It was a generic horror movie, but the best generic horror movie I have seen. And I don't really have high hopes for Smile 2. But this movie was a lot better than the first movie. I really enjoyed it from start to finish. Especially that opening scene. That opening scene is my favorite scene of any movie that I have seen in 2024. I love that opening scene. Brilliant long take, and what a way to start a movie. And the rest of the movie is also really interesting. It's basically the first movie, but everything is like better than the first movie. And Smile 2, it's a movie that sticks with me, so therefore number 10 on the list. Number 9, we have a blockbuster that I really liked, and that is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And I love this movie. I'm a big fan of the Planet of the Apes movies, the reboots at least. The originals are fine, but they are a product of their time. I really love the reboot trilogy, one of the best trilogies ever. And I was a bit skeptical when they were going to do a new movie, but I really love Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. It's amazing blockbuster. I love the whole world they are building. Our main character Noah is a fantastic character to follow, to root for, and just to see where his journey is going from here on. And I really hope they're gonna make a part 2 and a part 3. So Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, amazing blockbuster. Another amazing blockbuster, a summer blockbuster, is Twisters at number 8. I love Twisters. And what I love about this movie is that this is the perfect blockbuster. A blockbuster that we had like in the 90s. It's a simple story, just focusing on these disasters, on these twisters, and these characters, characters that are really fleshed out. You know about these characters, but just what you need to know to keep this movie, the story, interesting. Definitely Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones are really making this movie interesting. Two very likable characters. The twister action is amazing. Also like that they show us the dramatic impact of what a twister can do. And yeah, I really had a blast watching this movie in theaters. Twisters, amazing blockbuster. At number 7 we have a horror movie, Immaculate. And for a long time this was my favorite horror movie of the year, till August. I'm gonna talking about that movie pretty soon. But Immaculate is a religious horror movie about Sydney Sweeney that plays a nun, and strange things are happening in her church, or the place where she is. But what I really love about Immaculate is the whole third act. I love how crazy that third act is. Very violent, but I was all there for it. And the twists in this movie, interesting for sure. Maybe this is the horror movie that's gonna be forgotten in a couple of years, and then people are gonna talk about it later. From this is the underrated horror movie of that year. I really hope so, because I love Immaculate. Number 6, we have Juror Number 2, the final movie directed by Clint Eastwood. And I'm a big Clint Eastwood fan. Not that much as an as the actor Clint Eastwood, but director Clint Eastwood, I'm a big fan. He has made a lot of movies, not seen them all. Most of them I really like. I think he's a great storyteller, and he shows that in Juror Number 2 again. Keep in mind, this guy is 93 years old when he made this movie, and that's really impressive. If you can still make a great movie like Juror Number 2 on that age, and Juror Number 2, it's fantastic. It's definitely one of his better movies, and I really love the morality of this movie. Constantly you are in the position of our main character and you are thinking yourself, is he doing the right choice, or should he have done that? And I really love movies that made you think, and Juror Number 2, fantastic. Also fantastically directed, acted by all the actors, perfectly written, great shot. I love this movie. And at number 5, top 5 guys, number 5, we have a movie that really impressed me, and that's the drama film A Real Pain. And this is directed by Jesse Eisenberg, and the first movie I've seen at this edition of FilmFest Ghent. And the reason I wanted to see this movie was because it was directed by Jesse Eisenberg. I know him as an actor, it's a bit hit and miss with me, but I'm really impressed what kind of movie that Jesse made. A Real Pain, it's both a fantastic comedy. There are times that I really laughed out loud. That does not really happen a lot with recent comedies, but it's really funny at times. And then this movie has moments of silence, that the drama is so hard, so well hitting, that it's perfect. It's a perfect balance between comedy and drama, and that makes this movie so impressive. And I really love this movie, and it hit all the right notes, and therefore it plays in my top 5. At number 4 we have another blockbuster, and that's Furiosa, a Mad Max story. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of Mad Max Fury Road. I like the movie, but I do not love it like everyone else is doing. It's a great action movie, but Furiosa I actually prefer, and I'm not quite sure why. I think it's just a better movie that shows us this world. I have a better understanding of this world because of this movie. I think Furiosa is also a very excellent character in this movie, and I love to see her journey from kid to young adult, like 20 years or something, to eventually go to the Furiosa in Fury Road. Also, I really love that the movie is working in chapters. That's always a plus for me, and it's just a visually stunning movie. There are some great action pieces. It's a great revenge story, and yeah, I actually have not a lot of negatives. It's a long movie, but I enjoyed every second of it. At number 3, we have my favorite horror movie of the year, and it's the one that I was expecting to be my favorite, and that's Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus, I love this movie. I'm so glad to see another Alien movie back on the big screen, and this one was fantastic. I have some little issues with it, but I can ignore that. The movie really feels like a love letter to the Alien fans, and that's how I have received the movie. I loved it. I loved it from the start, I loved it all the way to the finish. Rain, played by Kelly Spaney, is a fantastic new um, character, main character to carry this franchise. Really love that character. There are some great face hugger scenes. Um, the space looks beautiful. I have a lot of positives to say about this movie. I'm obsessed with this movie, and I'm actually looking forward to give it another watch. Now, the two remaining movies, there are movies that I have seen pretty early in the year, and they have stuck with me for the rest of the year. I was impressed by them, and they are a bit divisive. There are a majority that love them, but there is also another majority that despise the movies. So it's a bit 50-50 in the audience, but I am definitely on the loving side on both of these movies. And number two, I have to pick Challengers. Challengers, the new movie by Luca Guadagnino. It's about tennis. You can't not too warm with me with the tennis movie. I love watching tennis. And it's also a movie about a love triangle. Now, there are my concerns, but how Luca did this love triangle in a very interesting way, in a very captivating way, it's excellent. As soon as this movie started, I was fascinated. My eyes were on the screen, and I did not look away. It is the way that Luca directed this movie, how he did the shots, and the tennis game that we see is also very excellent. And I love that it is told in a non-chronological way. It makes the movie even more interesting. I think the three characters make this movie also very interesting. And that last scene, that sticked with me. It made the movie perfect in my opinion. I love Challengers, and yeah, I cannot say anything negative about this movie. It's definitely a bit experimental at times, but I'm actually very glad that there is a director that takes some risks in experimenting with shots and directing style and taking a story in some places. So Challengers, one of the best movies of this year for sure. But my favorite movie of 2024 is Civil War. As soon as I saw this movie, I knew this might be my favorite movie of the year. I love it. Like Alex Garland, his movies, I like his movies, but I really never was loving them until Civil War. This is a science fiction movie, but it doesn't feel like a science fiction movie. It's a war movie that is on a level of immersive that I have not experienced with other war movies. There are scenes in this movie that you like feeling with them. It's also a very interesting concept. I think it's also a good choice to focus on war journalists, war photographers, as they have to be neutral. That's a very cool, interesting choice. And I like these characters. There are some very intense scenes in this movie, especially with Jesse Plemons. And it was not the kind of movie I was expecting. But as soon as the movie was finished, I had this idea of, wow, that was a cool movie. And I love it. So therefore, my favorite movie of 2024. So guys, this was my top 10 of 2024. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, always give your top 10 in the comments. Would love to read that. And if you want to see more reviews of me in the future, more top 10s of me, always be free to subscribe to my channel. And till the next time.